Welcome, everyone. You're listening to the Expressed and Orgasmic Living podcast, the show that teaches you how to go from feeling stifled and suffocated in your life to expressed and orgasmic. Here, you will receive tips on how to honor yourself, fulfill your desires, and feel truly alive again. I'm your co-host, Renee Faith, Orgasmic Soul Freedom Coach.
And I'm your co-host, Cherie Linnell, Life Expression Coach. Welcome to our very first episode. And today we're talking about what honoring yourself looks like, and more importantly, what not honoring yourself will inevitably bring.
Hey everyone, welcome to our first episode. We're so excited to have you here. I just want to pause for a minute so that you can really get to know both Cherie and I. So those of you that don't know Cherie Linnell, let me tell you a bit about her. She's a certified master life coach from the Transformation Academy, certified life purpose coach, certified spiritual life coach. She's also a big advocate for the end of mental illness stigma. She mentors clients using her own journey of living with mental health challenges so they can be expressive without fear of shame. She's super passionate about helping women take their power back and own their life like a boss. When she's not coaching, she enjoys discovering new vegan dishes, photography, honing on her spiritual gifts, and loving on her family and rocking out behind her drums. Yay, Cherie!
Yep. And for all of you who are just getting to know Renee, Renee Faith is an author, speaker, intuitive coach, master energy healer, certified in 8 healing modalities, and a homeschooling mom of 2 beautiful souls. She has been featured in Mind Valley Academy, Solvana, and Om Vanna blogs, the Akashic Magazine, Creations Magazine, Sustainable Success, Soul Clarity, and Abundance Live, as well as other summits and podcasts. With over a decade of experience as a healer and coach to women all around the world, she holds sacred space for moms who feel trapped and oppressed in their life to reclaim their power. She helps them manifest their heart and soul desire and shift their life from oppressed to orgasmic. Renee believes every mom can honor their own dreams and desires while still being the best mom, the best wife, and the best daughter they can be. When she's not working in her business, Renee loves listening to R&B music, shooting hoops, running, hiking, and road trip adventures. You know what is interesting in that is that you like listening to R&B music,
Yep.
and I like listening to metal. And it's kind of generally like the other way around.
I mean, I don't know. Do Asians listen to metal? I guess
A lot. They, from what I can see, a lot. I see more Asians than I do Black people, for sure.
Okay, fair. I do know some Asian friends in high school and college that listen to metal. But you know what? That's interesting though, right? Like you can't really box people in based on how they look. And that just takes us right into our conversation today of, hey, how do you honor yourself, right? And what does it mean to not honor yourself? So it's so interesting because I have a sibling. My brother is 4 years younger. And we have a close cousin that recently just got married. I just went to his wedding the other weekend. And the 3 of us kind of grew up together, but the 3 of us musically went very different ways. So I went the hip hop route and my brother went the bachata route, and he dated all these like older Spanish women.
Bachata?
Yes, the DR Dominican dance, right?
Yes, that's a story for another time. I'll tell you about it.
So he went, with the Spanish music and the Spanish route. And then my cousin went I think it's techno. I don't even know. At his wedding, all his friends were just like jumping up and down. I think it's techno.
Yeah. Oh, rave or EDM.
Rave.
I think it's called. Yeah.
I mean, we're all of the same similar makeup. We're mixed Chinese and Burmese culturally, but we grew up in Brooklyn, and we went our different ways. And so you can't box people in. Like that was the self-expression that we all chose, for ourselves, right? And you never know. And then it can change. And everybody should have permission to, be able to step into whatever that new expression is that they choose, right?
Yeah, without fear of doing it. It's, you are who you are. And the the idea that we can't be who we are because the world would judge you because you don't fit in their little box. You know, it's quite isolating to have that feeling. And I know all about that. I mean, I'm 46 and been feeling that way for a good portion of 35 years. You know, so I wouldn't want anyone to hold on to that for so long, you know, so.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about that. Like you said isolation.
Yeah.
Like what were the external, what was the external talk that you received that kind of made you go into?
Oh gosh, you are so white. You know, that's so white of you. Or, oh, you know, we're about to pull your black card away. You know, that's a favorite one. And, you know, there's one where, you know, because I enjoy metal music, now in my adult life, I am married to a white guy. Oh, it's figures. You know, you left, like you kind of like hate yourself or something. Like, no, I don't. I just like what I like. And I still love myself and I love my community, you know, but there's nothing wrong with members of our community, of the African American community, expanding on their expression and learning about different cultures and music. You know, I'm an eclectic, always have been. I mean, I could say the only music I might not jam with is country. Because, yeah, I know. I know, but I can get with some country music. But I don't know any of the artists other than Tim McGraw. Is that even his name? And Miley Cyrus's father. That's it. That's as far as my knowledge in country music goes. But yeah, that's a lot of what I've gone through and still go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just the side eye and walking around with my mohawk and my band t-shirts and getting surprise looks from the Black community and the white community. Mm-hmm. They're like surprised, and I get more conversation that way. You know, it's like, oh, wow, you like this band? And oh, I love them too. And I'm surprised. And then my neighbors, when they hear the drums and then they find out it's me.
Yeah.
Oh, forget about it. I exploded outside of their box, basically.
Yeah. So it's this whole like, hey, don't shame me into a box, right? Mm-hmm. I will be unapologetically who I am. Because, you know, what's the inevitable if you don't, like, if you don't honor yourself and your full expression, and you're going to let other people, you're going to live to make others happy, right? That's what you're doing when you're not choosing yourself. When you're not honoring yourself, you're now honoring someone else's vision of you. You're now honoring someone else's dream for you.
Yeah.
The inevitable is, you know, what Cherie said, one is isolation. You feel alone. Mm-hmm. And that can certainly downward spiral to depression, super easy, right?
Yeah.
And other mental health issues. And for me, inevitably, it impacts your health in a negative way. So if you let it get that far, if you continue to not honor yourself and your expression and your voice and your dreams and your heart's desires, if you continue to dismiss it and put it under the carpet, it's going to eventually show up on the physical form. Mm-hmm. We don't want it to get that far, right? Because we want to live free. We want to live express. We want to live orgasmic. One of the, you know, aside from music, though, I'll say one of the recent things that came to mind as far as honoring yourself was around my in-laws. So for some of you that do follow me, I recently separated, or like about, what was it, in January? So like 9 months ago, I separated from my soon-to-be ex-husband, and the marriage is failing. You know, it was a 12-year marriage. It had been failing, you know, crumbling. The disconnection was building over the course of 9 years. And so we separated in January. But I'll tell you, one of the things that contributed to the crumble was some issues with my in-laws, right? Recurring issues. And so I ended up, in the face of that, I ended up not honoring myself, not standing up for what I thought I needed in the marriage, saying things to myself like, you know, I'm being bad for thinking these bad things about his family. I'm being bad for wanting to pull him away from his family. So just a little bit of context. So he's super traditional Chinese, and he's very much a mama's boy. And so all, you know, all this negative self-talk that I'm being the bad one because maybe it's my ego that's trying to pull him away from his family, that's wanting, you know, more attention on me, or making me the priority over his mother, his family, etc. So that's what shoving things under the carpet looks like. When you don't honor yourself, you're saying, let me take my priorities, my needs, my desires, my expression, let me take all that and shove it under the carpet for a little bit. Because it's making other people feel uncomfortable, perhaps it's too much confrontation, it's too uncomfortable, so let me put it under the carpet. But that really creates all this negative self-talk. Like, I'm bad for feeling this, I'm bad for wanting to try something new, I'm bad. So it's all these I am statements that are so hurtful to our being, our energy. And in actuality, what is that? Like, when we're having this negative self-talk, it's gaslighting ourselves.
It's gaslighting ourselves into, that's true gaslighting. And we talk about others doing it, but we are like the ones that do it to ourselves the most.
Detrimental.
We treat ourselves so badly that we wouldn't treat anyone else the way that we treat ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves about ourselves. You know, and I could tell you the things that I've said about myself and this noggin of mine, it is terrible. And I've actually shared with my husband some of the things that I've said to myself that I won't say here because I don't want to trigger anyone. But I've said some things to him, and he would just, it's like his mind was just blown. I say, this is how I see myself, and this is the way I talk to myself, and it's over and over and over. And he's genuinely surprised at it. And it also helped him get an understanding of me when I disassociate, that might be happening. I might be having this conversation, this dialogue with myself that's unhealthy. So
let's give our listeners the full picture, right? So what's the contrast? If not honoring yourself looks like all this negative self-talk in our head, right? It's the I'm bad for wanting to pull him away from his family. You know, I'm bad for you know, making the Black community look bad, perhaps, right? So that's what not honoring yourself looks like. It's making yourself feel bad, gaslighting yourself. Honoring yourself would look like what? Like, what would we be saying if we were honoring ourselves? The I am statements we'd be saying.
Oh, I'm a boss. I'm badass. You know, you know, I walk this, you know, I take up space. I take up glorious space.
I deserve to
take this space. Right? Exactly.
It's all these like, I deserve to be happy. Yes, of course, my in-laws, your family deserve to be happy and they deserve your love. But hey, I deserve it too. Right. So now you see the energy shift. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be peaceful. I deserve to be respected. It's now you can feel this shift in energy where you're building yourself up versus shoving yourself under the carpet along with all the other issues. Right. So energetically, I just wanted people to be really clear. That's the contrast where one will actually improve your health as well. And I want to continually bring it back to health because I really, truly believe that the things that we say to ourselves, the choices that we make in our life, it will manifest in our body as well. I think it's all interconnected, interlinked. That's the premise of all of our work, right? So you feel the difference when you're not honoring yourself. Yes, there's the isolation that Cherie said, that which will downward spiral to the mental health issues, to depression, to, you know, and for some people, suicide, right? Like it can downward spiral that far. And then on the flip side, when you do start to practice choosing yourself and honoring yourself, you get this upliftment of like power, joy and freedom and optimal health. And so when you're clear, what is inevitable when I don't live my truth, express myself, listen to the music I want to listen to, choose the relationships that make me happy. When you don't really honor those mindfully, then this is the inevitable.
Yeah.
So yeah, so be clear that there is a choice, and actively choose is what I like to say.
And I want to say something about how the part where you said it manifests inside of your body. It also happens too, like when you're going through the healing process, it's painful sometimes, I mean, you feel good mentally, but sometimes for me, it would travel throughout my body, like, and I'm not really all that familiar with like chakras and whatnot, but like I would get like a really bad sore throat.
Yep.
And that's all about my throat is my expression. It's how I talk, so it would be like, I would think it's like, okay, I'm ready to express myself, but am I really? Why is my throat hurt? Did I do that? Did I make my throat hurt as an excuse to not express myself?
Yeah.
So that I am, with it manifesting in your body, I think it comes from the part of keeping it within and even trying to let it go. It comes.
The body doesn't lie.
Mm-hmm.
The body doesn't lie. So for those of you that are listening, watching, and there are parts of your life that you're not happy with, that you're not feeling super joyful, expressed, and orgasmic in, like, just tune into your body for a minute. What are some of the health issues? Is it like a joint pain, right? Is it a shoulder issue? It could even be a pain in your finger. What is happening in your body right now? And then Google it. Like, what does that mean? Yeah. Louise Hay is amazing. Louise Hay, for those of you that don't follow her book, Heal Your Life, Heal Your Body, Heal Your Life, is a great book. It's a great, like, little, cheat sheet about what body part is linked to what emotion. Mm-hmm. And then you can work with affirmations to uproot that. For me, that's my deep truth, that it is linked. And I've worked with many clients where we would release old trauma from the body, like it lives in the cells of our body. Mm-hmm. And then their life will just change. Their energy will change because we released old trauma from the cells, right? And so you want to look at that and be mindful. The body doesn't lie. I love the throat example you gave. It's, for me, it's the way I sense it, it's the ego trying to protect you. Because in the past, when you spoke your truth, you got the Black community saying, I'm going to take away your Black card. Yeah. So now you're like, well, that hurt too much. Yeah. That was too painful. And so now I'm going to guard myself, right? And protect myself. And that's the ego, our inner child, protecting us. And that's fine. So then our job is to then say, you know what? And I know you do this work, right, Sherry, but it's to say, you know what? I feel I'm safe. It's okay to speak my truth. I'm safe. And so you're telling your inner child, I know it was scary back then. And it sucked to be bullied by both the white community, the Black community. And now you're like, I'm all alone because everybody's coming at me, right? Yeah. Telling that inner child, like, hey, it's okay to speak your truth. Yeah. You're safe.
Being the parent you needed for your inner child.
Exactly.
Being the parent that you needed. And that's important to me to do. Yeah. Working with my inner child. Very important, because all my photo albums from when I was a kid, I had like this joy in my eye, and as I flipped through it, as I progressed in age, I still had that glimmer in my eye, but my expression kind of wasn't as big. My smile wasn't as big. And I can actually remember now looking in the mirror, trying to practice my smile, because someone said I had buck teeth. I look like Mr. Ed. So now I'm like trying to practice my smile. So like, so I'm not showing it, but through talking through my inner child, like as an adult, I don't care. I'm smiling big, I'm showing whatever, because that to me helps the next person. I look good no matter. I look good regardless, with my big teeth, whatever. I am fierce. Yeah. So that's those I am statements that come in handy too.
I think that's the goal. right? To get to the point where you're just like unapologetically
and unbothered
and unbothered. Yeah.
Yep.
That takes practice.
It does.
Especially if you've been having all of these I am statements that are totally negative and you've put yourself last.
Yeah.
Just putting yourself last, be very clear, putting yourself last, putting your family first, putting your children first, putting your husband first. That's not honoring you.
Nope. No.
So you've got to really go ahead.
Yeah. And it's also, you know, in if you're an entrepreneur or career driven, when as women, we put our careers before like anything else or anybody else. Oh man, get help. You get help for that. And that kind of stifled me in business too, because I felt guilty for putting in so many hours trying to create, you know, create what I create for my coaching and, you know, all the things I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I am a mom, I am a wife, but I have to remember that I am me first.
Yeah.
I was always me first.
We have to fill our cups, right?
Yeah.
And for you, this is your soul's purpose, right? And I think for a lot of people watching, I'm pretty sure you're all soul aligned and you follow, you know, your soul's guidance, your heart. It's important. It's so important. And it hurts you more when you don't follow that soul guidance because something's missing.
Yeah, especially when it took work to get to know what that soul purpose is, you know, because it happens to be that society will put upon you what they think you should be. And then you'll maybe even try it on, you know, like for me, I tried on accounting. Yeah, it fit, but I hated it.
Yeah.
You know, you try all these things on and you get trapped in them because it's acceptable. Maybe it's giving you a financial support. And so now you're trapped, right? But then you discover that there's more to that you have these innate gifts and talents that only you have.
Yeah.
You have your purpose. And then now you found that purpose and now you're getting judged for it. You're getting judged for it. And then you're back into that cycle of being isolated again and feeling shame for wanting to be a drummer at 40 years old.
Yes. One of these days on the podcast, you're going to have to play drums for us.
Oh, so absolutely. Absolutely. I might give you some Rage Against the Machine because that's what I'm working on right now. Kind of tricky, but you know, Brad Wilkie, so he's the man. So he's the drummer for Rage Against the Machine. And don't get me started. That's a whole different story for another day.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm excited for the drum session with Cherie.
Yeah.
You said something earlier about, oh, that's my cat. You said something earlier about parenting your inner child, right? So we talked about how that inner child just doesn't feel safe. It feels very vulnerable and wants to protect itself. I think that is definitely one of our multifaceted approach to working with both of our clients. I think it's also interesting to note that when you're choosing to honor yourself or not honor yourself, I like to go, well, if this was my daughter, how would I guide her? Would I tell her, choose other people before you?
No.
Or would I encourage her to honor her truth, her dreams, her desires?
Yeah.
Regardless of what age she's at, right?
Yeah. And I feel like that's why we have daughters. That we have daughters so we could teach them a whole new different way, especially to be self-expressive and not judge them for it. Let them try things on for themselves and let them decide if it fits them.
Yeah.
You know,
we're modeling for our kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, I struggle in my business and I give up sometimes and I pick back up and, you know, my daughter was like, oh, I thought you were doing this, or, you know, she's like giving me the pep talk that I wish I would have had when I was her age, you know, like she knows because she gets that pep talk from me. So she's able to give me that pep talk back, you know, if that makes any sense.
It does. It's great. We model for them, and then they coach us right back. It's a perfect.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like she's like my little coach. She's my little life coach.
You know, we all need mirrors, right? And that's
Yeah.
why that's the importance of coaches, by the way. Even coaches need coaches, mentors need mentors, because we can't see what we can't see.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have those blind spots, and our egos sometimes refuse to understand that we have these blind spots. And then when they're revealed to us, there it is. Our ego's like, nope, nope, not me. So.
Yeah. That resistance, you're talking about resistance.
Yes, resistance.
You have to walk through that resistance when you're trying to change an old habit, change an old belief that's been stuck there since age 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this has been a great conversation. I think we've given some really cool steps that folks can use in their life to distinguish what honoring yourself looks like, what honoring yourself doesn't look like.
Yeah.
You know, always keeping in mind that it takes time and practice to honor yourself. It's like flexing a muscle. I call it the mastery muscle, right? So it's all these little choices that you make to choose you. It could be small. I'm going to give myself a bath. Nope. I'm going to give myself an hour. You guys have to stay out, go play with your father. This is me time. I need to fill my cup. I need to honor, you know, and work on my needs. So it could be little choices like that, but that's flexing your mastery muscle.
Yeah. And then you gain muscle memory.
Yeah.
It becomes muscle memory. And it's like, I could totally relate to this with drumming. You know, you get sloppy at first. You don't know which hand goes down first. Like you don't know, you know, you might not know what self-care to take for yourself, but you just try it on and then you stick with it, and you might forget, but you just keep sticking with it. You having that consistency and you do it, then it's automatic for you. You're just on autopilot, taking care of yourself.
That's where the unapologetic comes in. Yeah. Right. Because once you flex that mastery muscle, you saying, no, I'm going to honor me in this moment. That becomes, you know, quicker, easier to say, which is being unapologetically you, right?
Yeah. But can I say this one other thing too, that kind of like is kind of unheard of? So yesterday I had tickets to see Drowning Pool. They came locally, and they're a band. They're a pretty awesome band. And I didn't go because I didn't feel like it. And I paid for these tickets, and no one could understand that. Like my husband, my kids. I said, I need to take care of me. I don't feel energetically ready to go in this crowd of people. Like I'm feeling like I'm taking in so much energy that it's not healthy. So I'm not going to go. I'm going to stay home. And it was totally fine with me. I didn't feel guilty for spending the money. Like my kids were like, oh my God, you spent all that money. Like, it's just money. It's just money. You know, what's more important is me right now and how I feel. I don't want to go through that. And I won't even enjoy the concert.
Yeah.
You know, so.
It's a protecting yourself. When you honor yourself, a lot of it is boundary setting.
Yes.
And we'll talk more about that in future episodes. You know, especially around some cultural shame stuff coming up. Yeah. But I think it's boundary setting and it's protecting yourself. There's no shame in that. What do you want to say about that? Protecting yourself, protecting your energy, and we'll continue.
Just protecting your energy is really important. Once you feel it in your body and you feel it, like you feel this, I don't know, it's like a resistance. You feel like you don't want to go. You're feeling like this pull to do something, but you're feeling even strongly that you shouldn't do it. Really just honor that and just don't do the thing.
Yeah.
You know, don't do the thing. It's okay.
A lot of moms will get so overwhelmed too, right? Because they say no. They don't know how to say no. And so it's really practicing that word no and honoring your body's needs and tuning in. Maybe the folks that can't say no, they have a hard time tuning into whether or not they're capable of doing that additional task for that person, right? So tune in. What does my body need? What does my heart need? What does my soul need?
Right.
So tune in to understand your needs and then choose it.
Exactly. Choose you. Always choose you.
Yeah.
You know, and don't feel bad for it, man. Like, we spent enough time feeling bad for choosing ourselves. Now it's time to Just don't feel bad about it.
And you said something the other day to me, wasted time.
Yes, it's a waste of time.
How much time have you wasted? I will pose this question to all the listeners and viewers. How many years? So my marriage of 12 years, it was crumbling for the past 9.
Mm-hmm.
Those are wasted years.
Wasted years.
How many more years are you willing to waste honoring others and shoving yourself under the carpet and gaslighting yourself? How much more? We've got to ask ourselves that question. How much more will I endure this before I choose me and be happy and free? Sherry, this has been such a fun conversation to have with you. I'm really glad we're able to like dig in a little bit with some of our real life stories to share. I really hope you guys found some inspiration, got some clarity.
Yes.
You know, really honing into like, what has this cost me? Me not choosing me, right? Yeah. What has this cost me in regards to health, mental health, physical health? And then make a choice. Like, what are you going to do today to honor you so you can start flexing that mastery muscle?
Exactly. And if it's hard for you to do that, think about the benefits of choosing you. Like, what will you gain? Because now we already know what it's costing you to not choose yourself, but look at it in the point of view of what will you gain?
And what did you gain when you started playing your drums again at age 40?
Oh man, I gained so much more freedom and more confidence.
Yeah.
Because it takes a special kind of person to get behind the drums in the first place, because a drummer is the person that leads the band, even though guitarists and bass guitarists, they don't believe that, but there's like a lot of pressure on a drummer. So I gotten profound confidence in my being just by taking up drumming.
Enjoy.
Yes, enjoy. And I'm going to do that after we're done here. I'm like itching to do it.
So for me, after the separation, right, when I chose to honor myself, and maybe we'll talk about my separation and the pivotal choice that I made, the pivotal moment that helped me make that choice later. But once I did that, I got my body back. I got me back. So I lost 30 pounds and like 5-6 inches off my waist after the separation. I prioritized my body. I've always felt like an athlete inside, but I lost myself with marriage and pregnancy and motherhood and homeschooling. I lost myself because I put everybody else first. And so now I'm reprioritizing. I honor myself. I left the marriage that was loveless and unfulfilling, and I got my body back, my energy back, right? And so
you're breaking personal records with your running.
Yes, under a 10-minute mile now. Faster and stronger than I was in my 20s, y'all. So the point is, this level of joy that you get by being you and getting back to you, realigning with yourself. It's joy, it's freedom, it's this upliftment, it's lightness. That's what's available to you.
Yeah,
and it's orgasmic to me.
Yeah, and it's opportunity. It's more opportunities for you in that line. If that lines up with your purpose and your passion, you'll have more doors open to you to be more expressed, to keep enjoying the thing that you like to do.
Yeah.
You know, like I believe soon Renee's going to have the opportunity to run a true marathon.
Oh, I ran a marathon. You didn't know?
Oh, see, look.
In 2000, that was in 2003 though.
Okay.
I was like 23, 24. Check, done. I don't need to do it again. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, you never know. You might be inspired to do it again. Who knows? You know,
I do love endurance sports. I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And who knows? I might be playing in a band someday. Who knows? That opportunity might come.
I might join you in a band.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Cherie, thank you so much for this conversation. It's always fun to chat with you. We're going to do this again because this is going to be a weekly recurring series that we're offering up to you guys. So do tune in. Thank you so much for watching. It was great to be with you.
Thanks for listening and watching. Bye.